Beloved chosen one, pause right here. Do not scroll. Do not minimize this moment. You are not here because the algorithm found you. You are here because heaven interrupted your routine. Something is beginning, and it is not quiet. It is not subtle. It is not hidden anymore. This is the moment where God stops working behind the curtain and begins to move publicly in your life. You have felt it already, a pressure in your spirit, a restlessness you cannot explain, a sense that staying the same is no longer an option. This is not anxiety, this is alignment. For a long time, you wondered why everything important about you seemed invisible, why your effort at work went unnoticed, why your loyalty in relationships was taken for granted, why your prayers felt like they hit the ceiling and fell back down. But obscurity was not punishment, it was protection. You were being formed where applause could not distract you. And now, the season is turning. There is a divine reason the resistance increased right before this message reached you. The opposition always grows louder when heaven is about to make a move that cannot be reversed. What you are feeling is not weakness. It is the stretching that happens right before elevation. Think about your current life situation. Maybe you are clocking in every day, doing more than your job description, yet still overlooked for promotion. Or maybe your finances feel tight not because you are reckless, but because responsibilities multiplied faster than income. Or maybe at home, you are the emotional pillar of the family, carrying everyone else's weight while no one asks how you are doing. This is not random. This is the tension before release. As the prophet Isaiah wrote, chapter 40 to verse 31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Notice what that scripture does not say. It does not say you will avoid pressure. It says you will be renewed in it. Eagles do not escape storms. They use the wind meant to break them to rise higher. In the same way, the very circumstances trying to exhaust you are about to lift you. God is not removing the wind. He is changing your altitude. There is a moment coming very soon where what was hidden will be obvious. Your competence, your integrity, your resilience. People who assumed you were just average will suddenly realize you were being prepared, not delayed. And when God makes a public move, He does not ask permission from people who doubted you. He does not consult the ones who ignored you. He simply opens doors that no one can shut. Picture this: you receive an unexpected email or phone call connected to your work, an opportunity that feels bigger than your current title, or a financial door opens. Not through gambling or shortcuts, but through a clean, undeniable provision that restores your dignity. Or in your family, the dynamic shifts, your voice carries weight. Your boundaries are respected, your presence changes the atmosphere. This is not fantasy, this is trajectory. But here is the tension point you must face honestly. When God moves publicly, He also moves decisively. You will not be able to carry old mindsets into new territory. You will not be able to shrink to make others comfortable. The beginning of something unstoppable requires your agreement. Heaven initiates, but you must respond. Let me ask you directly, are you willing to be seen, even if it exposes who never supported you? Because visibility comes with clarity. Some people will celebrate you, others will feel threatened. Both reactions are confirmations that God is at work. You are not responsible for managing their emotions. You are responsible for obeying your assignment. This is why this moment matters. Not tomorrow, not when things settle down. Right now, the same God who sustained you in private is about to defend you in public. And when He does, the narrative changes fast. Suddenly, you are no longer the one who struggles, but the one who overcame. Not because you advertised yourself, but because God highlighted you. If this message is resonating in your spirit, take one simple action as a sign of agreement. Like this message so it reaches others who are standing on the same threshold. Share it with someone who is exhausted but chosen. Subscribe to stay connected to what God is unfolding next. And at the very end, as an act of faith, not superstition, but alignment, comment the number 77, declaring that renewal and elevation are entering your season now. This is not the end of waiting. This is the beginning of movement, and it will be unstoppable. You are starting to see it more clearly now. The delay was not denial. The silence was not absence. The closed doors were not rejection. They were instruction. God was shaping you in a place where applause could not interfere and where ego could not survive. You were hidden because what was being built inside you needed time without noise. There were seasons when you questioned yourself. You wondered if you misunderstood God, if you aimed too high, if your dreams were unrealistic. Especially when nothing around you confirmed what you carried within. But hidden seasons are designed to strip you of the need for confirmation. God was teaching you how to move without validation, how to stand without witnesses, how to believe without evidence. Look at your work life again. You were placed under managers who did not see you, systems that limited you, environments that underestimated you. It felt unfair, but in those conditions, you learned how to stay consistent even when motivation died. You learned how to finish what others abandoned. You learned how to build character when recognition was absent. Those lessons do not come on fast tracks, they come in waiting rooms. Financially, you may have wondered why increase did not come sooner. You watched others advance while you maintained. But in that maintenance, you learned restraint, you learned patience, you learned how to trust God daily instead of occasionally. You learned how to survive without shortcuts. When abundance comes later, it will not corrupt you because scarcity already disciplined you. In family matters, you were often the one who held things together. You absorbed conflict. You stayed quiet to keep peace. You sacrificed personal comfort for collective stability. No one labeled it leadership, but that is exactly what it was. Leadership formed in silence is the strongest kind, because it is not fueled by ego, it is fueled by responsibility. The reason you were hidden is simple: visibility attracts pressure, and pressure exposes foundations. God was reinforcing yours. As the Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 49, verse 2. He made my mouth like a sharpened sword. In the shadow of his hand he hid me. He made me into a polished arrow and concealed me in his quiver. That verse reveals something crucial. God hides what he intends to release with precision. Arrows are not displayed while being sharpened. They are kept back until the moment they are needed. You were not forgotten, you were being refined. Every delay sharpened you. Every quiet season polished you. Now comes the turning point. What was hidden cannot remain concealed forever. There is a moment when preparation reaches completion, and when that moment arrives, God does not announce it loudly. He simply positions you. Suddenly, you are needed. Suddenly, your voice carries weight. Suddenly, the same people who overlooked you rely on you. This transition can feel unsettling. You may notice discomfort rising not because you are unprepared, but because you are leaving a familiar place. Hidden seasons create safety through invisibility. Emergence requires courage. Here is the question you must face honestly. Are you willing to let go of being unseen when God calls you forward? Because staying hidden past your season becomes disobedience. Humility is not shrinking. It is agreeing with God's timing. When He lifts you, resisting visibility is not modesty. It is fear. Hope appears here, not abstract but practical. Imagine a meeting where your input shifts direction, a decision where your discernment prevents failure, a responsibility where your steadiness calms chaos. These are not dramatic fantasies. They are natural outcomes of someone who was formed deeply before being seen widely. You will realize that the hidden years did not weaken you, they anchored you. And when pressure increases, you will not panic. You have already survived quieter battles. You have already learned endurance without applause. God hides His chosen ones not because they are fragile, but because they are valuable. And valuable things are never rushed into exposure. You are not emerging empty-handed. You are emerging equipped. You are closer than you think. What feels like quiet right now is actually alignment settling into place. Pieces you could not force are moving without your effort. And soon you will recognize that momentum has already begun beneath the surface. Do not misread the calm as stagnation. This is the breath before movement, the pause before responsibility expands. God often slows the environment down so your spirit can catch up with where He is about to position you next. When the door opens, it will feel sudden to others but familiar to you. You have rehearsed this moment in silence. You have been trained without realizing it. And when you step forward, you will know you were never late, only prepared. Before Peter ever stood boldly before crowds, before miracles flowed through his shadow, his story passed through pressure that exposed weakness. Scripture does not introduce Peter as fearless. It introduces him as willing but untested. He promised loyalty with confidence, yet when pressure arrived, confidence collapsed. In the courtyard, surrounded by accusation, fatigue, and fear, Peter denied the very one he loved, not because he was evil, because pressure reveals what confidence hides. This is where your life quietly intersects with Peter's story. You may love God sincerely, yet still feel overwhelmed when pressure stacks up. You may believe deeply, yet still freeze when the cost becomes public. Pressure does not mean you lack faith, it means faith is being weighed. Peter did not fall in private rebellion, he fell in public stress. Voices around him, eyes watching. Consequences looming, and under that weight, his weakness surfaced. This matters because many people today mistake exposure for failure. But exposure is often the doorway to transformation. Think about your everyday life. Pressure at work builds deadlines, expectations, bills waiting at home. You want to act with integrity. But exhaustion shortens your patience. Words come out sharper than intended. You compromise small values just to survive the week. At home, family responsibilities pile up. You are expected to be strong, stable, available, yet no one asks how much you're carrying. Under that pressure, cracks appear. You feel guilt for not being better. But pressure is not proof that God has left you. Pressure is proof that something real is being tested. Peter's denial was not the end of his calling. It was the exposure of self-reliance. Up until that moment, Peter trusted his passion more than God's power, and pressure dismantled that illusion. Weakness surfaced not to shame him, but to reform him. You may be in a similar season. Pressure has increased and temptations feel louder. Old habits resurface. Emotional reactions surprise you, and you ask yourself, why now? Why when I thought I was stronger? Because strength built on self must break before strength built on God can stand. We find these words spoken by Jesus in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 22, verse 32. But I have prayed for you, Simon, that your faith may not fail. And when you have turned back, strengthen your brothers. Notice what Jesus did not say. He did not say Peter would avoid failure. He said faith would survive it. And more importantly, Peter's failure would become fuel for others. That reframes everything. The pressure you are under is not meant to disqualify you. It is meant to strip illusions so real authority can form. God is not surprised by your weakness. He accounted for it before calling you. Look at how this plays out practically. Maybe you are under financial pressure and feel ashamed for struggling again. But that pressure is teaching you humility, dependence, and wisdom that will later guide others. Maybe your marriage or family relationships feel strained, exposing communication gaps or emotional wounds you avoided. That exposure hurts, but it also opens the door to healing that surface peace never could. Or maybe spiritually, you feel dry. Prayer feels heavy. Faith feels mechanical. That does not mean you are drifting. It may mean God is removing performance so intimacy can grow. Peter's loudest promises happened before pressure. His deepest transformation happened after. Here is where hope sharpens. After exposure came restoration. Jesus did not discard Peter. He restored him publicly, then entrusted him with leadership. The same mouth that denied would later preach with power, not because weakness disappeared, but because dependence replaced pride. Let me ask you directly, what weakness has pressure revealed in you that you keep trying to hide? Because what you hide controls you. What you surrender transforms you. This is the moment where honesty becomes strength. Not pretending you are fine, not masking exhaustion, but acknowledging limits and letting God work there. Right here, take a small but intentional action. Comment still standing. Not as a boast, but as a confession. It means I have felt pressure. I have seen weakness, but I have not walked away. That statement aligns your heart with perseverance, not perfection. Pressure is not your enemy. It is the furnace that burns away what cannot survive where you are going. Peter could not carry self-confidence into apostolic authority. And you cannot carry old versions of yourself into new assignments. What is being exposed now is not meant to shame you. It is meant to prepare you. And when this season passes, you will not only stand stronger, you will recognize others under pressure and know how to lift them. Because those who have been exposed and restored do not judge, they strengthen. There comes a point when silence is no longer shelter, it becomes a line. God Himself steps across. You recognize it when endurance starts to ache, when restraint feels heavier than risk, when staying quiet would now cost you more than truth ever could. This is the season when God does not merely comfort you privately, He defends you publicly. For a long time, your strength was measured by how much you could carry without reacting. You learned to keep your head down. You let results speak later. You absorbed misinterpretation because you trusted that God saw what others refused to notice. That was not weakness. That was training. But every season has a boundary, and you are crossing it now. God does not defend His chosen ones by turning them into fighters. He defends them by making reality impossible to ignore. Think about your working life. There were conversations you were never invited into. Decisions were made above your head. Your name may have been questioned when you were not in the room. You knew the truth, yet you stayed silent. And now, without you campaigning, without explanations, patterns are surfacing. Outcomes speak. Consistency reveals itself. People begin to realize that what they assumed about you does not match the evidence in front of them. Or look at family dynamics. You were labeled difficult, distant, or overly sensitive. No one saw the discernment behind your distance, the wisdom behind your restraint. But time has a way of clarifying things. As years pass, choices bear fruit. Stability exposes chaos, peace exposes disorder. Suddenly, your posture makes sense without you defending it. This is how God answers through clarity, not chaos. We see this principle revealed in the ancient words recorded in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Stillness here is not passivity, it is alignment. It is refusing to step out of character just to win an argument. When God takes over your defense, your role shifts from proving to standing. As God begins to move openly on your behalf, something subtle happens. Resistance grows uncomfortable. People who benefited from misunderstanding you begin to feel exposed, not because you attacked them, but because truth arrived. This can feel unsettling at first. You may feel tempted to explain, to correct, to finally say everything you held back. But wisdom knows when to let God finish the sentence. Public defense does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like an unexpected opportunity. A door opening that required no lobbying. A role offered without you asking. Authority given without you reaching for it. This is not favoritism. This is alignment catching up to preparation. Financially, this season may show up as relief rather than excess. Bills handled without panic, provision arriving steadily, a sense of peace replacing survival mode. Those who once advised shortcuts now quietly observe your stability. That is divine defense in daily clothing. Relationally, you may notice shifts too. Conversations change tone. Respect replaces assumption. Your presence carries weight without force. You did not demand it, time and truth delivered it. But here comes the deeper test. How will you carry vindication? God watches closely, not just how you survive misunderstanding, but how you behave once clarity arrives. Will you remain gentle when proven right? Will you stay humble when others finally see vindication can intoxicate the unprepared? But you were trained in obscurity. You know how to hold weight without letting it change your center. Let me ask you directly, if God clears your name without your help, can you resist the urge to rewrite the past? Because true maturity does not rehearse old wounds once healing begins. Hope here is not abstract, it is grounded. You are stepping into a season where your life speaks for itself, where you no longer need to explain your boundaries, where your consistency answers questions before they are asked. This is not about recognition. It is about establishment. And when something is established, it becomes a reference point for others. Quietly, people begin to orient themselves by you, not because you are loud, but because you are steady. If these words have steadied something inside you, let that steadiness move naturally outward. Like a stone placed carefully at the edge of a river, let this moment mark where the current changed. If you sense this message could shield someone else who is still standing silently under pressure, let it travel gently like a lamp passed from one watchman to another before nightfall. And if you choose to remain close to this unfolding path, do so the way one chooses a lighthouse during shifting tides, not because they are told to, but because direction matters when the waters move. This is not about noise, it is about orientation, about choosing where you keep your eyes while God completes what He has already begun defending. You are not fighting anymore. You are being established. This is the season where the mirror matters more than the crowd. Not because others are suddenly irrelevant, but because growth stalls the moment you spend more energy diagnosing people than discerning yourself. God is not asking you to inspect who failed you, who misunderstood you, or who walked away. He is inviting you into something quieter and far more powerful: intentional self-examination. Not self-criticism, not shame, but honest alignment. Most people miss this stage because it feels less dramatic than vindication. Yet this is where longevity is decided. Before God expands your influence, He refines your inner posture. Before momentum accelerates, direction must be clarified. Start with something very practical: your daily reactions. Pay attention this week to what drains you disproportionately. Is it certain conversations? Certain responsibilities? Certain thoughts that loop late at night? These reactions are not random. They are indicators. They point to areas where your values and your environment may be misaligned. Consider your work life again. Ask yourself, not accusingly, but truthfully, am I working from purpose or from pressure? There is a difference. Purpose energizes even when tired. Pressure exhausts even when successful. If your motivation is driven mainly by fear of falling behind, fear of disappointing others, then adjustment is needed. Not externally, but internally. Financially, this season calls for clarity rather than comparison. Instead of asking why others have more, ask whether your current habits reflect where you believe God is taking you. Are you stewarding peace or feeding anxiety? Sometimes self-examination looks like small changes, tracking spending honestly, setting one boundary, choosing patience over impulse. These are not glamorous acts, but they are foundational. In relationships, resist the urge to audit other people's flaws. Instead, notice your patterns. Do you withdraw when misunderstood? Do you over-explain to feel safe? Do you avoid conflict at the cost of honesty? These tendencies often formed as protection, but protection can become limitation if never revisited. This is where Scripture offers quiet guidance, as the Apostle Paul reminds us in the letter to the Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 28. Everyone ought to examine themselves before they eat of the bread and drink from the cup. Examination here is not condemnation, it is preparation. Paul understood that clarity precedes participation. You do not examine yourself to exclude yourself. You examine yourself to engage rightly. Apply this spiritually as well. Ask yourself simple, grounded question. Am I praying to be seen by God or to be changed by Him? Am I reading Scripture for comfort only, or also for correction? These questions are not meant to accuse you. They are meant to orient you. Here is a concrete practice you can try this week at the end of each day. Ask yourself 3 things. What gave me peace today? What stirred unnecessary tension? Where did I ignore my conscience? Write the answers privately, not to judge yourself, but to notice patterns. Over time, these answers reveal where God is already speaking. Self-examination also means noticing where you are growing resistant. Resistance often appears as procrastination, distraction, or irritation. Instead of asking who is causing it, ask what is being invited to mature. Growth usually knocks where comfort once lived. Let me ask you a direct question now. If nothing around you changed, what would God be inviting you to change within you? That question carries power because it removes blame and restores agency. Hope lives here not as emotion, but as direction. Because when you begin to adjust internally, external circumstances often follow. Peace becomes more stable. Decisions feel clearer. You stop reacting and start responding. This is not about perfection. It is about participation. You are cooperating with a process that is already unfolding. Right now, as an act of quiet alignment. Comment the number 333. Not as a ritual, but as a reminder, clarity, alignment, and responsibility moving together. It marks your choice to look inward with courage rather than outward with comparison. This season is not asking you to fix everything. It is asking you to notice what matters. And that awareness practiced daily will quietly reshape everything else. The number 333 points to alignment rather than urgency. It reflects the moment when thought, action, and intention begin to agree with one another. When these three come into harmony, confusion loses its grip and decisions stop feeling forced. Seeing 333 is also a reminder of responsibility without fear. It signals that awareness has increased, and with awareness comes the ability to choose differently. Not perfectly, but consciously, one decision at a time, guided by clarity instead of reaction. There is a quiet line God draws before momentum becomes unstoppable. Not a line between you and other people, but a line within you. This is the season where separation does not look like departure, but definition. You are not being pulled away from the world. You are being clarified inside it. Up to now, many of your choices were shaped by survival. You adapted. You tolerated. You negotiated internally just to keep things functioning. That was necessary once, but necessity has an expiration date. What carried you through pressure will not carry you into authority. So God begins refining not your surroundings, but your discernment. This is why you may feel less flexible lately. Not angry, just clearer. Certain conversations feel draining. Certain environments feel misaligned. You are not becoming proud. You are becoming precise. Precision always feels restrictive to people who benefited from your openness. This internal separation often begins in subtle ways. You stop explaining yourself unnecessarily. You stop agreeing just to keep peace. You stop laughing at things that contradict your values. Nothing dramatic happens outwardly, but everything stabilizes inwardly. Consider your work life again. You may still be in the same position, but your posture has shifted. You no longer chase approval. You do not overfunction to compensate for others. You do your work with integrity, then release the outcome. This is separation not from responsibility, but from anxiety. Financially, the line becomes clearer too. You start distinguishing between wants and assignments. You sense when spending is driven by insecurity rather than need. You become less reactive to comparison. This isn't restriction, it's maturity. Peace begins to cost less than it used to. In relationships, this line feels sharper. You realize that not everyone who has access to your time should have access to your inner world. You stop sharing prematurely. You listen more. You respond slower. This is not withdrawal, it is stewardship. You are learning that emotional energy is not infinite, and God never asked you to spend it recklessly. This is often the most misunderstood phase of growth. People may say you've changed. And they are right, but not in the way they think. You didn't become colder. You became anchored. You didn't lose compassion. You gained boundaries. Scripture gives language to this moment. As the ancient words recorded in the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 2, still echo today. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Notice the order. Transformation begins in the mind, not the environment. Before God shifts what surrounds you, He renews how you discern. Separation starts as clarity. This clarity can feel lonely at first. You may notice fewer people resonate with your silence. Fewer conversations feel nourishing. But what feels like loss is actually refinement. God is reducing noise so direction can sharpen. There is also relief here when you stop carrying what isn't yours. Energy returns. Sleep deepens. Decisions simplify. You stop rehearsing imaginary conversations. You stop preparing defenses that are never used. This is the fruit of internal separation. Let me ask you something to reflect on privately. What are you still tolerating that clarity has already questioned? Not to judge yourself, but to listen. God often speaks through discomfort long before he speaks through change. This season is not asking you to cut people off impulsively. It is asking you to stop betraying yourself quietly, to honor the discernment you prayed for, to trust that saying no internally will eventually make external obedience easier. Hope here is grounded and realistic. You are not becoming isolated, you are becoming aligned, and alignment attracts what belongs without effort. You will notice that as you define yourself more clearly, confusion loses interest in you. Chaos stops knocking where order is established. Soon, decisions that once felt complicated will feel obvious. Not because options disappear, but because discernment strengthens. You will know where to invest, where to wait, where to release. This is not control, this is wisdom settling into place. You are not stepping away from people. You are stepping into clarity. And clarity is what makes what comes next unstoppable. This inner separation prepares you for movement without confusion. When clarity settles, you stop hesitating at every crossroad. Choices no longer drain you because they are filtered through conviction, not emotion. This is how stability is formed before speed is released. What once felt restrictive now feels protective. You realize that boundaries are not walls but gates designed to let in what belongs and keep out what weakens you. In this space, momentum becomes sustainable, not chaotic. You have reached the point where return is no longer possible, not because doors are locked behind you, but because your inner posture has changed. You cannot unknow what you now discern. You cannot unsee how God has been threading meaning through pressure, clarity through separation, strength through surrender. This is the moment you step into a flow that does not require constant force. It moves because it is aligned. Unstoppable does not mean frantic. It does not mean loud acceleration or reckless confidence. It means direction finally matches capacity. What once felt like pushing now feels like cooperation. You are no longer trying to prove anything. You are responding. Think about how this shows up in everyday life. At work, you stop chasing validation and start making decisions with calm authority. You speak when necessary, stay silent when wise, and your presence steadies rooms without effort. Projects no longer drain you the way they used to, because you are no longer carrying outcomes that were never yours to manage. Financially, your relationship with provision shifts. You are not obsessed with increase, yet you are no longer afraid of responsibility. Money becomes a tool rather than a threat. You plan with clarity. You give with peace. You receive without guilt. This is what flow looks like: resources moving without anxiety. In relationships, you sense a different rhythm. You no longer chase closeness that costs your integrity. You recognize resonance quickly and dissonance without drama. Some connections deepen naturally, others loosen quietly. There is no bitterness here, only honesty. You understand now that alignment does not require explanation. This is where obedience becomes momentum. Not dramatic obedience, not public declarations, but daily agreement with what you already know to be true. You say yes internally before opportunities appear externally. And when they do appear, you are ready, not rushed. Scripture gives language to this threshold, as Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 30. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. This does not mean the assignment is small. It means it fits. What God places on you now aligns with how He has formed you. The weight is appropriate. The pace is sustainable. The movement is steady. You may still face resistance, but it will no longer define you. Resistance becomes feedback, not identity. You adjust without collapsing. You learn without retreating. This is what maturity looks like in motion. Let me ask you one grounding question. What would change if you trusted that this flow is not fragile? Because many people sabotage momentum by gripping it too tightly. They fear losing what they have just stepped into. But what God sustains does not require your panic to survive. Trust is the final ingredient. Hope here is concrete. You wake up with direction instead of dread. Decisions take less emotional labor. You notice yourself responding instead of reacting. Even challenges feel cleaner, clearer, more contained. This is not ease without effort. This is effort without chaos. And when something beautiful steadies you like this, it is natural to want to honor it. If this message feels like a marker on your path, let it be marked gently, like placing a stone where a trail becomes clear. If you sense these words could steady someone else still standing at a crossroads, allow them to travel the way water finds dry ground, quietly, purposefully, without force. And if you choose to remain close to this unfolding work, do so as one keeps a compass nearby, not out of obligation, but because direction matters when movement increases. There is also space here for your voice. If you feel aligned with this season, leave a brief reflection below. One sentence is enough to anchor what you are stepping into. Writing clarifies intention. It turns awareness into agreement. This is not an ending, it is a crossing. The kind where you do not look back to measure distance, you look ahead because direction has settled. What lies before you will require steadiness, humility, and courage. But you are no longer guessing whether you belong here. You do, and as you move forward, the flow will not need to be forced. It will carry you because you have learned how to walk with it, one aligned step at a time. You are not stepping into something unknown. You are stepping into something already prepared. What once felt distant now feels familiar because your inner world has been shaped to recognize this terrain. Confidence rises quietly when preparation finally meets permission. As you move forward, remain attentive without becoming tense. Flow responds best to trust, not control. When you honor the pace God sets, progress becomes steady and sustainable, and each step affirms that alignment, not effort alone, is what keeps you moving. You do not need to rush to name what this meant to you. Some things settle slowly, like dust after a long road. If nothing else, let whatever stirred inside you find a quiet place to land. Truth does not demand applause. It asks only to be recognized. If this message served you, if it steadied something, clarified something, or simply kept you company in a moment you needed it, feel free to let it move beyond you. Sometimes sharing is not about agreement, but about offering someone else a place to pause. A simple gesture, passed gently, can become a turning point for someone you may never fully know. And if this message did not resonate in its entirety, that is also allowed. You are not required to carry every word forward. Keep only what touched you. One sentence, one image, one quiet realization. Growth often begins not with certainty, but with a single honest recognition. There is no pressure to respond, no need to declare conclusions. Life will continue to reveal what mattered through how you live, how you decide, how you rest. Meaning shows itself over time, not in moments of intensity alone. Wherever you are headed next, back into routine, into rest, or into something uncertain, go gently. You are not behind. You are not disconnected. You are simply in motion, even when that motion feels subtle. If you return to these words someday, let it be because you chose to, not because you felt compelled. And if you never return, let what was useful remain with you in ways that feel natural, not forced. Some paths close with answers, others remain open so that understanding can grow as you do. This ending is one of those openings. Take what is yours, leave the rest, and continue forward, attentive, steady, and unhurried.